62, 20%, 30%. What do these figures indicate? "62" stands for the millions of girls who do not receive education globally. 20% stands for the women at the top of the non-profit world, a world many of us think being led by women. 30% stands for the young girls who were forced to marry before the age of 18, stripping them from their potential they could have had. What links all of these numbers together? The 5th Sustainable Development Goal, gender equality. This goal aims for the all above issues that I just mentioned to be eradicated by 2030. Hello, my name is Anneke. I will be presenting the theoretical part of this presentation to you. My partner Becker will be presenting the practical part, giving life examples. We, like many of you, been brought up in a world where sadly gender inequality still exists. That's why we're interested in this topic. It is because gender bias is undermining our social fabric and devalues all of us, men and women alike. The idea behind this talk is not to debate human rights, but rather to shed light on the existence of a glass ceiling and what tremendous waste of human potential gender inequality is. We have realized that 12% of women held a leadership position in the hospitality industry at the end of 2019. This indicates that we're heading in the wrong direction. You're affected by this figure too, since all of us here are studying hospitality management for the next 4 years and later work in the hospitality industry. So today, we will focus on what you can do as an individual to expand your horizon by highlighting how political, economic, and social equality for women will benefit all genders. So how can you help eradicate prejudice and build respect for equal rights? Let's start with a broader picture, the SDGs, also known as the Sustainable Development Goals. The SDGs are made of 17 goals, which should be achieved by 2030, so in 10 years from now. These goals were formed by the United Nations, also called the UN, in 2015. They aim to make the world a better place and by getting rid of specific problems. For instance, people not being need. For instance, that people don't need to starve. So the UN created a specific goal called Zero Hunger, which fights against not starving and having enough food at all times. This is one of 17 goals. By reaching these goals, the world becomes more sustainable and teaches future generations about sustainability. This can be seen in our education system, as all of us heard of the SDGs at some point in our lives already. It doesn't matter the news, at work, when you're in school or in university. At some point we have heard it. It shows that the UN wants us to work as a community together to achieve these SDGs. As a community is always stronger and more effective. That's why we have concentrated on one of the most important goals in this presentation, which also overlaps majorly with nearly every single goal of the SDGs. It's gender equality. Gender equality is defined by the Cambridge Dictionary as the act of treating women and men equally. But gender equality does not imply that women and men are the same, but that they have equal value and should be accordingly equal treatment. So they should have the same treatment. The gender equality goal itself is described as achieve gender equality and empower all women, which means that both genders should have the same rights and chances to be able to achieve a goal. The UN used sub-goals to make it easier to achieve. These you can see on the screen now. To summarize this, the sub-goals concentrate on eradicating discrimination itself, elimination of traditional and harmful ways, for example, forced marriages, and to be able to have equal treatment and opportunities in the workplace. For example, having the same pay or same kind of opportunities.